what's up guys? Just about to fire up the grinder here. That's why I have my fancy grinding jacket on here. It keeps me free. See these leather sleeves? If you're doing a lot of steel work, you want that because it doesn't let little metal fibers in. But anyways, off on a tangent. I have something here. The title of this video is not an exaggeration. A lot of people are getting ripped off by this right here. Nice, pretty high grade leather or faux leather or something. Knife roll here. This is actually nice. But you've probably seen these sets on Etsy and these different sites being sold. They're a lot of times, you know, American made or whatever, hand forged, handcrafted, and the pictures look really nice. But I've gotten several emails just like this one from this client right now. They, you know, wow, what a deal. And they bought these knives only to be just terribly disappointed by the quality of workmanship. And that is the case here. Let's have a look at the first one here. We probably won't go detail over all these, but they're all about comparable. Of course, they're all Damascus. That seems to be common with these. They all show these multi-part handles. But let's look at the quality of product here. Look at this pin. All dented in. Look at the tang. Grimy tang hanging out there. Look at these joints here. And I mean, you could just feel every seam in this thing. Look at the gaps. Just the shabbiest of quality. Just terrible. Everything's rough. Look at the grind marks. There, have a look at this atrocity here. Look at the edge on this. You're looking directly at the edge now. It's supposed to be the apex. And look at the light showing. These are big flat spots. This thing hasn't even been sharpened. Another here. Another here. Have a look at that tang protrusion. Just look at the mark. So this is, a lot of times, I know they're probably not all like it, but a lot of times I've been emailed multiple times now to save customers because they've wasted, you know, a couple $100, which is absolutely nothing really to pay for a set like this. But you've got to expect that you're not getting 5, 6 beautifully crafted Damascus steel knives for a couple $100. It should be thousands of dollars if you're getting the proper quality. Have a look here. Have a look at these seams. Again, everything is right. And remember now, this is a brand new set. The customer just received these, and this is the condition. So this is another reminder. Be very careful who you're sending your knives to for repairs. Be very careful who you're sending them to for sharpening. I've gotten a bunch of emails about guys that gave their knives to local professionals or sent their knives into a professional and they just destroyed their $200-300 Benchmades and just wrecked their kitchen knives. Just terrible. You know, knife like a beautiful chef's knife, a Shun or whatever, and just score marks, scratches up the side. Just absolutely terrible. Be careful who you're buying new knives from as well. If you're going with custom makers and stuff, make sure they're reputable. Make sure you've seen good examples of their work, because this just happens too much. Beware. And again, I'll remind you, I'm sure they're not all like this, you know, the Etsy knives and different things like that, but this is happening a lot. Just setting up my respirator here, guys, going for my my regular change out for fresh filtration, fresh filters here. And I just wanted to take the moment to remind you guys once again, keep up on your PPE. This is something I didn't do at the beginning. I didn't have a shop with proper first aid. I didn't have a good fitting respirator. And it's worth a little bit of time to put it on. It's worth a bit of money to invest in a good respirator with the proper filters for the materials you're working with. Good eye protection. I've had a couple eye injuries now over the years, and sometimes things happen, nature of the beast, but we can definitely do a lot. It's also a good time to mention I get my first aid supplies from wildmedkits.ca. Great Canadian company. The people there are awesome. Ken, the main guy there, is phenomenal. I keep this trauma kit, this major bleed kit here on the wall right behind my main workstation in the shop. Make sure you have good first aid in the shop. I also want to mention their mystery box. Really awesome. You go ahead, you pay a quarterly subscription, or you can pay for the year. And quarterly, you get a big box of surprise goodies. You guys have seen these type of boxes before. This is finally one that's worth investing in, full of medical gear. I see one here. Looks like we have a new tourniquet pouch, a clip-on style, and a Molly style bag. So that's useful. The whole bunch of goodies. I don't want to give it all away, but hydration packets. We got pieces of reading content in here. Just stickers, all kinds of good stuff. We have emergency pocket first aid kit, fully assembled trauma shears, nitrile gloves, gauze. It's a tear package as well, so I don't want to tear it open right now because that's nice. It's sealed in. That's a nice one to throw in the side-by-side because so much dust, of course. All kinds of goodies. Of course, this is awesome, but this is secondary to your primary first aid kit. So if you don't have that already, please invest there. If you can't invest from wildmedkits.ca, they support me, they support the channel and our content, they support the Newfoundland hobbyists. So I definitely want to push their product. They have great product, great people there. But if you can't, we're looking out for your safety first and foremost. So good PPE and a good first aid system to back you up, whether you're in the workshop, you're out in the back country, if you use knives, axes, things like that. Be adequately prepared. Let's get back to the content. Check out wildmedkits.ca.
Now the first thing we're going to do in this process is to get them on the grinder and grind those tangs down. That's the biggest problem here. The tangs are protruding way outside of the scales, so we'll rough that down nice and flush with the wood handle material. Now we can do a rough job with that, just get it roughly in line, because what we're going to do now is fill some of those gaps, and we're going to use a Starbond gap filler for this. I really love the Starbond products for this type. They have really high quality cyanoacrylate glue, and then with the activator it's just so quick. I don't have to wait half a day for this glue to set up. It's just a matter of seconds here. I can spread it on and then give it a little spritz like that, and it sets up. You can see it's already going stringy, and within just seconds after that it's dry and solid. And then we'll go ahead with a flared center punch, and I'm just going to give a couple knocks inside of each thong tube here because they're all dented in. This is the absolute worst one. Look at this one. It's almost just half size there, and we're going to knock them open so they're a nice round circle. These are simple steps that could have and should have been taken before the knives left their original maker, but the care just wasn't taken, sadly. Now a quick inside chamfering before we go back to the slack belt grinding.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Fresh muffin? Blueberries? That you picked? Give me food. Thanks so much, I love you. Perks of living where I live, doing what I do, raising the family I do. Fresh blueberries picked this morning. Fresh muffins baked by my girls. Hand delivered. A
little hand sanding now after using a scalloped belt to refine all of those handles, and then finally we're on to a little handle buffing instead of using like a heavy varnish or a lacquer. I never like how that ends up looking, so we'll use like I said, the high sand grit and then a buffing just to help fill in those pores and give us a nice gloss, a nice smooth finish. Finally, we're on to sharpening, and the edges were really bad, and the forges aren't ideal with these. They're kind of thick. Ideally for my own knives I would want them much thinner, so I'd spend probably a couple hours working through all these carving away steel, but that wasn't part of this job, so I went from 60 grit all the way up to 400 and then a buffing to get these to a nice crisp edge.
Much better. Quick edge check. Lovely. Lovely. The cleaver turned out very nice, as did the edge, as you can see. Smaller chef's knife there. Came out very nice. And of course, I can't speak to the quality of steel used in these. How long these will hold that edge, I do not know. There's that smallest chef's knife there. And so that's it for another restoration. A restoration that shouldn't have had to happen because it was on a set of brand new knives. I hope you guys don't get burned like this, but if you do, now you should have some ammo there. You can rewatch this video. It'll give you some ideas on how to refinish those knives so you too can make the best of kind of a bad situation there and have yourself a decent set of knives. As always, hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or comments on this situation. Have you been burned in this kind of way and received something totally different than what you thought from the images? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.